I don't know, resign in time. But immunity, I assume, not immunity, but I assume he means Pandora's box in the sense that, like, now everyone's going to try to impeach everyone for every little thing.
But it was still well short of the 67 votes needed to find him guilty. In a moment, we'll speak with Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, who was in the center of the action. But first, let's bring in David Spunt on Capitol Hill on the trial's surprising final day. David.
Hi, Chris. As expected, Democrats voted unanimously to convict, but they needed 17 Republicans to join.
We have no power to convict and disqualify a former office holder who is now a private citizen.
While Senate might...
That's the precedent, by the way. That is the dangerous precedent. That is actually what is insane about this, is that, like, there are no political repercussions for someone as long as they fucking resign. And that's an insane thing to say. Oh, all right, never mind then, dude.
Minority Leader Mitch McConnell voted to acquit the former president. 7 Republicans voted to convict. North Carolina Senator Richard Burr, who is retiring next year, surprised colleagues with his vote to convict on the lone article, incitement of insurrection. Donald Trump's fate almost hung in the balance another few weeks after a floor fight erupted over live witnesses.
We would seek the opportunity to take their depositions via Zoom, also for less than an hour.
None of these depositions should be done by Zoom. These depositions should be done in person, in my office, in Philadelphia. That's where they should be done.
But in the end, both sides agreed, no witnesses. Next, closing arguments.
He abused his office by siding with the insurrectionists at almost every point. Rather than
now that we've abused the kindergarten style no you defense, we should just start, you know, we should start getting Republicans to utilize other childish fucking defenses too, like the 5-second rule, for example. You know, just say, oh well, he did a take back 5 seconds in, or the no take backs rule. That's another one that we can use. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm sorry, there's no take backs. Tag, you're it. He who smelt it dealt it. Exactly. I know you are, but what am I? That's a really good one too.
Than with the Congress of the United States.
The former president's attorneys defended their client without wavering.
This has been perhaps the most unfair and flagrantly unconstitutional proceeding in the history of the United States Senate.
Chris, former President Donald Trump out with a statement from Florida last night. I want to read part of it to you. He says, I have always and always will be a champion for the unwavering rule of law, the heroes of law enforcement.
Except for when they're getting murdered by my, you know, super fans in an insurrection that I caused. That I still supported while it was happening, and you know, only said they're bad after I was banned from Twitter in an effort to get my fucking Twitter account back. They are stands, dude.
And the right of Americans to peacefully and honorably debate the issues of the day without malice and without hate. Meanwhile, the current president, President Biden, out with a statement condemning violence, saying the United States needs to move forward, underlining the word united in United States. Chris?
David Spunt reporting from Capitol Hill. David, thank you. And joining us now, Republican...
You have TDS, dude, law. There's nothing more deranged than thinking I have, like, Trump derangement syndrome after Donald Trump is no longer in office. Like, it's one of the most boomer, pathetic fucking counters. Like, you're talking about the president? You're talking about the past president? That must mean you're obsessed with him. He was the fucking president, and we're talking about an impeachment trial of a president that got double impeached in his own fucking 4-year tenure.
Senator Lindsey Graham. Senator, welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Senator, let me ask you, have you spoken to President Trump since the acquittal yesterday? And if so, what was his reaction?
Yeah, I spoke to him last night. He was grateful to his lawyers. He appreciated the help that all of us provided. You know, he's ready to move on and rebuild the Republican Party. He's excited about 2022, and I'm going to go down to talk with him next week, play a little golf in Florida. And I said, Mr. President, this MAGA movement needs to continue. We need to unite the party. Trump plus is the way back in 2022.
Fucking called it, because the Republican Party is Donald Trump's party, and Donald Trump is the Republican Party. Sorry, that's just the way it is. And anyone who tries to fucking tell you otherwise is either delusional or a liar.
He's mad at some folks, but I understand that. My goal is to win in 2022, to stop the most radical agenda I've seen coming out of the Democratic presidency of Joe Biden. We can't do that without Donald Trump, so he's ready to hit the trail, and I'm ready to work with him.
Well, let me ask you about one person that he might be mad at, and tell me if he is or he isn't. Mitch McConnell, who made a curious speech yesterday in which he basically said the president is guilty, but that the Senate doesn't have the power to convict, to act against a former president. What did he think of McConnell's speech? What did you think of McConnell's speech?
Well, number one, I was a bit surprised, but I heard this in 1998. I've been in 3 of the 4 impeachments. I'm sorry about that. But the bottom line, in 1998, you had a lot of Democrats acquit Clinton, but got on the floor and said how bad he was. So, you know, Nancy Pelosi called us all cowards. I don't think most Republicans care what she thinks. And I think Senator McConnell's speech, he got a load off his chest, obviously. But unfortunately, he put a load on the back of Republicans. That speech you will see in 2022 campaigns. I would imagine if you're a Republican running in Arizona or Georgia.
Like, the only thing that this does is maybe drive a wedge, like a baby wedge within the Republican Party. And it's not really that big of a fucking wedge ultimately, because they're all crooks that are going to support whoever the fuck is the most radical person who's able to solidify the base of support. And that person is Donald Trump. Okay? Donald Trump operates on the same principle that these like alt-right rabbit holes and pipelines work on YouTube, okay? The more crazy you are, the more attention you can get to your rhetoric. And the more attention you can get to your rhetoric means the larger your fucking audience is going to be. That's it. Those are voters.
Georgia or New Hampshire, where we have a chance to take back the Senate, they may be playing Senator McConnell's speech and asking you about it as a candidate. And I imagine if you're an incumbent Republican, there are going to be people asking you, will you support Senator McConnell in the future? So I like him, Senator McConnell. He worked well with President Trump. I think his speech is an outlier regarding how Republicans feel about all this. I thought the impeachment trial was not only unconstitutional, I condemn what happened on January the 6th, but the process they used to impeach.
When you say the impeachment trial was unconstitutional, but I condemn what happened on January 6th, you're basically saying that you shouldn't impeach someone for inciting an insurrection. Like, that's all you're fucking saying. That's it. And that's precisely what Mitch McConnell did. He literally was like, yeah, what Donald Trump did was pretty fucking bad. But also, I'm going to delay this trial in the Senate. And then after I delay the trial, I'm going to turn around and say, sorry, this is unconstitutional. When you could have impeached, like, the window for impeaching Donald Trump is now gone. That was not something that there was precedent for. As a matter of fact, the opposite precedent existed. And now, you know, now here we are.
This president was an affront to rule of law. He's the first president to ever be impeached without a lawyer, without a witness, without ability to confront those against him. And the trial record was a complete joke, hearsay upon hearsay. And we've opened Pandora's box to future presidents. And if you use this model, I don't know how Kamala Harris doesn't get impeached if the Republicans take over the House, because she actually bailed out rioters, and one of the rioters went back to the streets and broke somebody's head open.
Okay, I love that. Again, it's like the fucking gray name morons in my chat. You're inciting riots as a Democrat, so you should be impeached, but Donald Trump should not have been impeached for inciting riots as a Republican. It's the fucking no you argument that still literally fucking admits that, like, you as a person with a bully from the bully pulpit have a lot of influence and a lot of power over your followers. It's fucking awesome. It's so awesome. But when we do it, it's not bad. But when they do it, which, by the way, I haven't proven that they've done it yet, but, you know, I think that they have done it, and, you know, we should follow through on that. It's great. Fuck it, dude. I mean, it's great. It's awesome. Fuck this. Like, it's great. Maybe the Democrats can say, oh, well, you know, we didn't impeach Donald Trump, so you can't impeach Kamala Harris. And then Republicans will be like, that doesn't matter. That's an irrelevant trial. That's irrelevant to the matter at hand.
So we've opened Pandora's box here, and I'm sad for the country.
Does Donald Trump bear any responsibility for the attack on the Capitol on January 6th?
No. In terms of the law, no. He bears responsibility.
Yeah, again, I was right. The Pandora's box isn't that, like, now presidents have fucking full power to do whatever the fuck they want as long as they resign. But the real Pandora's box is that, like, everyone's going to get impeached for minor offenses now. Great.
Of pushing narratives about the election that I think are not sound and not true. But
I can't wait for there to be an actual legitimate impeachment trial against, like, Kamala Harris or some shit, and then Lindsey Graham literally just eats those exact same words that he just had, just like he ate the words when he was like, yeah, I'm not going to appoint a Supreme Court justice no matter what happens if it's during the election cycle. Remember how he said that? And everyone was like, maybe he won't do it. And I was like, no, of course he's going to fucking do it because he's a liar. This is what Republicans do all the time. Democrats do it too. But, like, Republicans, this is what they do. Stop taking them fucking seriously. Stop taking their words as though they are serious. Okay? He's going to, if there was a circumstance where, like, they actually set up impeachment proceedings for Kamala Harris, Lindsey Graham would 100% be like, no, this is very different this time around. We have to impeach Kamala Harris. We have to. We have to. It's very different than the Donald Trump circumstance. It is so much worse. Is this actually bad long term? Seems like Republicans are playing the short game and fracturing their support. Yeah, no, it's bullshit. Is it bad long term? Everything that happens is bad long term.
This was politically protected speech. The speech on January the 6th was not an incitement to violence. Every politician has used the word fight hard. So I don't think...
I'm sorry. You guys don't understand. Like, you guys don't understand. Having that speech specifically on that day and building up specifically to that day, none of that is none of that is an incitement for an insurrection. Okay, these people just totally personally decided to do this on their own. They just happened to get together randomly on that day specifically. And Donald Trump had nothing to do with it. And you know, walk down Pennsylvania Avenue, like all of that stuff, completely just random. These guys all randomly got together. Haha, they're just weirdly. What a weird coincidence that happened. So weird, so strange.
He caused the riot. His behavior after the election was over the top. There was a pre-planned element to this attack, Mr. Wallace, that we need to look at. Did Nancy Pelosi know on January the 5th that there was a threat to the Capitol? What did President Trump do after the attack? We need a 9/11 commission to find out what happened, to make sure it never happens again. And I want to make sure that the Capitol footprint can be better defended next time. So I want to look at what Pelosi knew when she knew it, what President Trump did after that.
We should actually impeach Nancy Pelosi for playing a role in these riots by not defending the Capitol with a machine gun in hand. I think the real person responsible for this insurrection was Nancy Pelosi. Why was she not dual wielding machine guns shooting down the hogs that were coming in, which were Antifa, by the way? It's because they were Antifa and she knew, and she's also Antifa. We need to impeach Nancy Pelosi.
The attack. And
what does she know? What does she know about the insurrection? Is this like they were asking for it? Is this that they were asking for it with what they with how they were dressed defense or something? Like, what did Nancy Pelosi know? What did she know? She's the real person. She's the real person who needs to be on trial, not Donald Trump.
Senate side was Senate leadership informed of a threat. So there was a pre-planned element to this attack, totally unconnected with the speech. And I thought the managers failed miserably in making the case.
Let's pick up on something that you specifically talked about. Let's look at the timeline.
Oh, here is impeachment manager Lindsey Graham in 1999. Okay, are you ready for this? Which is why I say, like, these guys are fucking liars, okay? And you should never take them seriously.
Let it be said that any president who cheats our institutions shall be impeached. Because impeachment is not about punishment. Impeachment is about cleansing the office. Impeachment is about restoring honor and integrity to the office. When you start using your office and you're acting in a way that hurts people, you've committed a high crime. Let it be.
That's crazy, dude. This is wild, dude. It's so wild. Remember when Lindsey Graham legitimately cried because Joe Biden was such a good friend?
If you can't admire Joe Biden as a person, then it's probably you got a problem. You need to do.
God, I hate him so. I can't even watch this, dude. He just sucks so bad. How did he age so bad? Well, being a fucking actual, literal James Bond style villain in the form of being a Republican senator does. I mean, a congressperson does that to you. Okay. Ted Cruz even more gross. We're still pointing out hypocrisy in 2020 law.
Of what happened that day, especially after the riot began.
I gotta pee.
At 2:24, the president tweets, Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution. 2 minutes later, at 2:26, the president speaks to Senator Tommy Tuberville, who tells him Vice President Pence has been evacuated from the Senate. Around that time, the House Republican leader, Kevin McCarthy, calls the president, pleading with him to do whatever he can to call off the rioters. When the president says he thinks that it was actually Antifa that was involved, McCarthy told Republican Congresswoman Jamie Herrera Butler that he had to persuade the president it was his own folks who did it. Take a look at this exchange.
These are your people. You know, they have MAGA hats on. And the president's response to him was, well, Kevin, I guess they're just more concerned about this election than you are.
What does that tell you, Senator, about how the president viewed the riot while it was happening?
Doesn't tell me a whole lot because it's all hearsay. Why don't we have a 9/11 investigation? I think it's at 2:28 he told people to be peaceful. He tweeted out several times at 4 o'clock. He did a video basically to be peaceful and leave. Could the president done more? Yeah. Did he incite this riot by his speech? Absolutely not. If Donald Trump's speech is going to be seen as incitement by a politician to call violence, about every Democrat and Republican up here is in trouble. But I'd like to know that. I'd like to know, did the Capitol Hill Police inform the House Sergeant at Arms and the Senate Sergeant at Arms the day before the attack that they needed more troops? So I want to look at all of it.
Senator, I want to just pick up on that because, and the question of the president's personal responsibility, whether it was legal or not, whether his personal responsibility. Here's what you said on January 7th, the day after the riot.
It breaks my heart that my friend, a president of a consequence, would allow yesterday to happen. And it will be a major part of his presidency. When it comes to accountability, the president needs to understand that his actions were the problem, not the solution.
his actions were the problem, allowed the riot to happen. It sure sounds like you're saying that he violated his oath of office.
No, I think what he did is he encouraged supporters throughout the country to fight like hell, to take...
How do you get fucking rolled by Chris Wallace, dude? So, how do you come back from that? Let's see. Let's take a look. Well, it's not... No. He wasn't violating his oath of office, dude.
Back an election that he thought was stolen. A lot of politicians have said that. On January the 7th, he wasn't impeached. The guy was impeached within 48 hours. He didn't have a lawyer. No.
Wait, that's not even an answer. Like, that's literally not even a fucking answer. That is not... That's not answering the question that he addressed, which was, do you think that he violated his oath of office? Because it sounds like you believe that he violated his oath of office by saying...
Evidence gathered. The speech of January the 6th is politically protected speech, in my view, did not cause the riot. It doesn't represent the 74 million people who supported him. This will be part of his historical record of the Trump presidency. But Democrats, because they hate his guts, wanted to impeach him before they ever met him, have now started a process that you can impeach somebody in the House within 48 hours without a lawyer, without a witness, without the ability to cross-examine those against you, and have a trial record based upon articles from the media. This thing is turning into a nightmare for the presidency. I rejected the article of impeachment. I didn't think President Trump was guilty, and you have now opened up.
Guys, you don't understand. I'm telling you, this all happened completely randomly. Like, a bunch of friends just got together and decided to, you know, decided to take over Congress and stop a congressional process that was taking place. It was completely unrelated to Donald Trump, telling them to do that over and over again, including in the event that him and his followers put together specifically on that day. Who's to say that this bank wasn't going to be robbed, Your Honor? Who's to say that this bank wasn't going to be robbed on this day or on any other day, as a matter of fact? Just because I planned the bank robbery does not mean I said literally go out and do the bank robbery. Your Honor, I am completely innocent. Okay? Oh, yes, while during the bank robbery, I also sent out tweets in support saying like, hey, boys, you're doing a great job. I love you. You know, hugs and kisses for all of you. But that was completely unrelated to the bank robbery that may or may not have taken place. This insurrection, if you could call it that, was completely spontaneous. Okay? Completely spontaneous. It's just, you know, crazy things happen every day.
Pandora's box. As to Senator McConnell, he is a friend, but he's going to be center stage now in the 2022 effort to take back the Senate. I've been asked by a lot of people, Chris, calm President Trump down. Talk to him, get him to calm down. Sometimes he does and sometimes he doesn't. But to my Republican colleagues, this is a two-way street.
Okay, I'm done. I can't watch.